Will Stanton is a young boy a day away from his 14th birthday. The school closes for the Christmas break, but Will is not excited to be spending the holiday with his large family. As he leaves school, he sees a beautiful girl with a red scarf and is attracted to her. Will runs to the bus, and the girl gets on too. Will's brothers make fun of Will's shy personality and how he rarely has friends. His little sister Gwen asks him to talk to the girl before she exits the bus. Sadly, the girl gets up and leaves at the next stop, but she drops her scarf. Will picks it up, but the bus leaves before he can give the scarf back. Will and his siblings reach home and are approached by a man named Lion, who serves as the butler for Miss Graythorne, the local mistress of the manor. He then extends an invitation to Will's family to attend a Christmas party at the manor. Will gets home and finds that his other brother Max is home for the holiday. Max has taken over Will's room, so Will has to sleep in the attic. Will's house comprises his eldest brother Stephen, who is a member of the United States Navy, and Max, who is in college, James, twins Robin and Paul, and lastly, Will and Gwen. Their father John has moved the family to a little English village as he got a job as a lecturer, but their mother Mary is a housewife and loves her large family. The family settles to have dinner, and John asks Max what his plans are for grad school. Max says that he is still weighing his options and criticizes his father for being unable to write a thesis. The boys then make fun of Will and the girl he met on the bus earlier that day. The following day, two farmers named Dawson and George bring a Christmas tree for the family. The two farmers seem excited and honored to see Will and wish him a happy birthday. They also say that there will be a storm later that night, although the sky is very clear. Later, Will's brothers give him birthday presents, but Max has messed up the card since he thought Will was turning 13, while the twins give him one sock, saying he would get the other one on Christmas Day. However, Will is excited to get Gwen's present. She is the only one who has put thought into the present, and she has gifted him a beautiful wristwatch. As she helps Will put the watch on, she asks him to make a wish, and Will wishes for snowfall, like the one they had in the US. Later that evening, the family video calls with Stephen, who has sent them some presents. Stephen tells Will that he is different from the shirts everyone else has received. Stephen says he was walking in an old market when he stumbled upon the gift, and felt that it was supposed to be Will's. He then finds that his gift is a Celtic belt. That night, Will is excited to see snow falling in the attic. However, the weather gets so cold that he gets up to lock the windows. He is surprised when he locks the windows so hard that they nearly shatter. The next day, Will is at a bus stop when he notices so many crows settling on a nearby tree. Luckily, the bus arrives, and Will goes to the mall, where he wants to buy Gwen a Christmas present. Will finds a beautiful pendant, and he buys it for her. Then Will is about to leave the mall, but is grabbed by two police officers. They accuse him of stealing the pendant and demand him to follow them to answer some questions. In the interrogation room, Will realizes that something is wrong. The lights keep flickering, and the police officers' appearances are changing. The officers ask Will to give them the signs, but he is a little confused as he has no idea what a sign is. Soon, the police officers reveal their true form and try to attack Will, but he easily shoves them aside, revealing his power for the first time. Will runs out of the interrogation room with the two police officers chasing after him, but he manages to escape them. He's still surprised about everything that is happening, and cannot understand why everybody seems to want to get him. Will tries to tell his father that something weird is happening, but his father and the rest of the family ignore him. That evening, Will and his family attend the Christmas party they were invited to at the manor. Will is approached by the two farmers from earlier, who ask whether he is enjoying the evening. Will sees the girl he had seen on the bus, but James intervenes and goes to talk to her. This makes Will angry, and he grabs his coat to leave. At the same time, Lion and Miss Graythorne wonder whether they should tell Will about his destiny. Will is walking alone in the woods when a man riding a horse starts chasing him. Will runs away from the man and his dogs, but the man with the horse is faster, and he manages to catch up with him. The man asks Will for the sign, but Will does not understand what the man is asking for. Suddenly, Lion and Miss Graythorne appear, telling the man on the horse, the rider, to leave Will alone. The rider leaves, but he promises that he will get his power in a few days, and this time, he will ensure that no one is alive to stop him. The group sees how Will is confused, so they time travel to an ancient world. They reveal to Will that they are the ancient warriors who serve the light. They explain that long ago, in a place called the Great Hall, light and darkness fought. Light won, but wasn't able to defeat darkness completely. To do that, Will must get 6 signs that will help Light overpower darkness forever. They explained that Will's powers were activated on his 14th birthday, and he gained the ability to see the signs. Sadly, when Will's powers activated, the rider sensed him, and that is why he wanted to eliminate him. Will wonders why he gained this power, and they reveal that he is the Seeker, the 7th son of a 7th son. Only he can read an ancient text, like the sacred book, the Book of Gramarye, which will help him identify the signs. Will quickly laughs, explaining that he has 5 brothers, so he is the 6th son. He tells them that they have chosen the wrong person. Will turns to leave, but they tell him that he cannot escape his destiny. Will has a vision of darkness taking over the world. This confuses him, and he nearly gets into an accident as he appears in the middle of the road. That evening, Will does research on light and darkness. He asks his father questions about this. Since John is a physics professor, Will wants to know if it is possible for darkness to defeat light. John tells Will that he should enjoy being a kid, as he does not have to worry about heavy matters like the end of the world. Will is in the attic when he pulls out a drawer and trips, injuring his ankle, but Mary calls the doctor to treat Will's ankle. Will is getting a drink when he hears the doctor's voice and quickly realizes that the doctor is the rider. The doctor asks Mary to fetch some things in the other room so he can have some private time with Will. The doctor heals Will's leg, promising to give him whatever he wants if he gives him the signs. The doctor also makes Will's ankle worse, threatening to harm him if he chooses to side with the old warriors. Mary returns to the room, so the doctor leaves Will's ankle the way it was. He says that the boy will have to take care of himself for a while. Will goes back to the attic and stumbles upon a picture of 2 newborns. He takes this picture to Mary, who reveals that Will has a twin brother, Tom. One day, when Will and his brother were 2 weeks old, there was a heavy storm that made them cry. Then, Mary took Will downstairs and asked John to get Tom. John was working on his thesis, so he took a minute to get to Tom. Sadly, by the time he got to the boys' room, Tom was nowhere to be found. The family looked everywhere, but no one had seen or heard anything that could help them get Tom. This kidnapping greatly affected John, and he stopped writing his thesis and sunk into depression. Convinced that something evil is approaching, Will decides to work with the old warriors. He takes the sacred book and learns that he has several abilities, including sensing the signs, telekinesis, superhuman strength, stepping through time, and commanding fire and light. But unfortunately, Will cannot fly, and this is disappointing. Lion then helps Will use his powers. This is how Will senses the first sign on the pendant that he had bought for Gwen. He senses the second sign, but has to travel a long time to get the sign with the warriors. Unfortunately, the team is attacked by an old woman who releases snakes that trap everyone. Luckily, Will escapes and finds the other sign, causing him to time travel back to the church with his team. While speaking with Lion, Will learns that his ancestor Thomas was the one to create the signs. He had revealed that the 6th sign could never be found, as it was never hidden. Lion says that Will is the Seeker, so only he can understand what Thomas's words mean. Will learns that his father's new job in this little town had been organized by the old warriors. That evening, the rider meets with an anonymous person. He tells them that his dark power is increasing by the day, but Will has found 2 signs already, so he is also getting stronger. The rider then tells the person to get him the signs, and the person will be rewarded. Meanwhile, Will is having dinner with his family when James comes in. He introduces Maggie, the girl Will has been interested in, to everyone, and Will is disappointed to learn that the 2 are dating. Maggie approaches Will, and she reveals that she too has powers by creating a sign using salt grains. After dinner, Will shows off his abilities to Maggie, but he wants to know why Maggie is with James, and whether she is an old warrior. Maggie explains that Will should not be bothered with such small issues, but should instead focus on what lies ahead. She also says that she is not a warrior, but a friend looking out for him. Will says that he felt an instant connection to her the minute he saw her, and has been thinking about her a lot of the time. He then reveals that he has feelings for her. The conversation is interrupted by James, who asks what the 2 are doing. Maggie explains that she was waiting for him while hanging out with Will. Seeing Maggie walk out of the house makes Will so angry that he rushes to the manor to speak with Lion. Will does not think he can save the world, seeing that he cannot even talk to girls. Lion tells him that he is the Seeker, so he can do anything he wants, and that he should be focused on defeating darkness and not dealing with girls. Will leaves the manor and screams out in frustration, letting his power set the nearby trees on fire. Miss Greythorn sees this and scolds Lion for not offering a listening ear and advises Will when he comes knocking. Shortly after, Will is approached by Gwen, who has followed him to the manor. Gwen asks him if he's okay, and Will says he's fine. However, he sees the clouds forming and realizes that he can find the third sign. Will holds Gwen, and the two time walk to a village where people are fighting. Will and Gwen hide from the fighters, and Will spots the sign hidden in a shield. He and Gwen follow the owner of the shield to a boat. Will leaves Gwen and gets on the boat to retrieve the shield, but he is caught by a bulky man. The man throws Will into the water and is about to attack him when he sees Will's watch, the one he was gifted by Gwen. The man agrees to trade the shield for the watch, allowing Will to get the third sign and spacewalk back home. Will asks Gwen not to reveal to anyone what had happened, but he is scolded by Lion for using his powers, as he needs to conserve them for the fight ahead. Lion also apologizes for kicking Will out earlier, and promises to do his best to be a great guardian. As Will gets home, he finds Max waiting for him. Max says that he will be staying at home for more than a few weeks, but Will does not care. Max grabs Will and starts speaking in a strange voice, revealing that he is being controlled by the Rider. At the same time, Will has an idea of where the fourth sign is, so he time travels to the location, taking Max with him. Max starts a fight with Will, eventually cornering him and threatening to stab him unless he hands over the signs, and Will reveals that he knows Max dropped out of college for failing his exams. Will tells him that their family will not hate him for dropping out of college, but they will wait to see what he does with his life. Will urges Max to let go of his fear, so the Rider cannot control him anymore. When this does not work, Will punches Max, knocking him out. He then retrieves the fourth sign. Shortly after, Max gains consciousness, and Will says that he has fallen. The following morning, the small town wakes up to find a terrible blizzard. This affects everything from traffic to water and electricity supply. Miss Greythorn has invited John and his family to stay at the manor and weather out the storm. Meanwhile, it is revealed that the Rider has been working with Maggie. She is a witch who wants to help the Rider, so she can be youthful forever. The Rider warns Maggie that Will has 4 signs, so she needs to get them quickly. Lion tells Will to meet in the Great Hall after he finds the 5th sign, but Will is not looking forward to this, because even if he finds the 5th sign, he doesn't know what the 6th sign is. Lion has faith that the boy will get everything he needs to defeat the Rider. Maggie finds Will in the manor and asks him for the signs. Will is about to give them to her when he sees the 6th sign. Will quickly works hard and gets the sign, refusing to give Maggie the others. In return, the Rider takes back his promise, causing Maggie to age quickly, and she evaporates into a flood of water. The Rider has so much power at this time that he enjoys creating chaos in the small town. Will joins the old warriors in the Great Hall, where the Rider cannot enter unless invited in. The team debates on what to do, but Will's father knocks on the door, asking to be let in. The team warn Will against opening the door, but Will hears Gwen's voice saying that one of their brothers has been badly hurt. He also hears Mary's voice asking for help. Will runs to open the door, only for the Rider to get inside. He had been using Will's family voices to conceal his identity. The Rider comes with a dark cloud that sucks out all the light in the room. The old warriors try to attack the Rider, but he is so much more powerful, and he quickly defeats them. He sends them into the darkness, so he is left to deal with Will. The Rider hurts Will by asking him where his friends are to protect and defend him. The Rider says that Will is a loser who could never save the world despite being prophesied about 1,000 years ago. The Rider shows Will a globe with his twin Tom inside, revealing that he had kidnapped Tom 14 years earlier, hoping that he was the 7th son. The Rider then drops the globe into the water under the Great Hall. Will tries to find his brother, but it is too cold and dark. The Rider then throws Will into the dark cloud and leaves the Great Hall, ready to start his mission of taking over the world. While in the darkness, Will remembers everything he has learned about the 6th sign and how it cannot be hidden from him. This makes Will realize that he is the last sign. The powers combined make it hard for the Rider's darkness to affect him. Will then walks out of the Great Hall with a globe in hand. He uses the globe to trap the Rider and his darkness, and throws the glass orb into a river, the same thing that the rider had done with Will's twin brother. After this, light comes back into the town. Miss Graythorn shows Will that she has found Tom, and the two brothers reunite despite being away from each other for so long. Will says that he wants to go home, and the warriors agree to let him leave now that he has faced his destiny. Will and Tom walk home, and the entire family is overjoyed to see their long-lost son.